So, you know how difficult it gets when you're sick to read a very complex piece of writing material or to do work, to be patient with people and the work that you do. You might actually get explosive and scream at people that you care about unintentionally. You might want to withdraw and you get pains all over your body, right? Well, those symptoms are signs of toxicity overload in your organism. And the same signs happen when different kinds of toxicities overload your organism, like a toxic person that you're dealing with at school, in your cyberspace, in your workplace. So it's the same reaction in your organism, but in one case, you know that the cause is a cold or the flu, and you know that it's going to run its course and you're going to get better. In the other case, you don't really know where it's coming from. No one has told you what I just told you, and you don't know exactly how long it's going to last. And if you have that toxic person in your life for a long period of time, then it doesn't go away. And you believe that you have ADD, ADHD, depression, anxiety, phobias, when in reality, you're just dealing with a really toxic person, and that emotional stress turning into physiological stress, and you become ill. So, a lot of clients that I've worked with over the years who suffer from domestic violence, for example, got better through treatment. Their symptoms disappeared almost, or sometimes totally. And in a few months, they came back because they're dealing with the same stressors in their lives. And that's not all. Environmental pollution can also overload our body's toxicity tolerance too. Uh, Air pollution increases your risk of self harm 50% almost. I mean, think about that. We don't look at air pollution as something that has to do with mental health, depression, self harm, impulsivity, but it does. We know it's bad for you, but we don't put the two and two together and say, you know what, air pollution could be linked to autoimmune disorders, it could be linked to respiratory system disorders, it could be linked to COVID 19 deaths. And lo and behold, just 1 microgram increase in particulate levels in your air lead to 8% increase from COVID-19. So it's related. Everything is related. Not many people are talking with you about these things because there's so much interest on the part of corporations, really powerful people, to keep things as they are. We spend $10 trillion every year just on healthcare, not on mental health, not on addictions. They're also related to these things. Not on violence and domestic violence, crime, social services related things, justice system related things. Just on healthcare, we spend $10 trillion every year. So people who make their living from this don't want to go back to the drawing board and reimagine the work that they do in new and healthier way. When we realized how dangerous smoking was for our health, we outlawed it in public places, and there was a lot of lawsuits against the companies that produced cigarettes and smoking tools. And I don't know how that's going to really work out in this situation, but I do know there's a lot of fear about litigation. And what I say about that is, think of this as an opportunity to do the right thing, not just for yourself, not just for your company, but, well, for the image of your company for sure, but also to your children, to your grandchildren. Earth is an ecosystem, and our organisms are systems that are part of this greater ecosystem. You can't isolate yourself from the rest of the world. If you pick a really high air quality location for yourself, like Hawaii is a great place for cleanness, your waters can get contaminated. All we need to do is trust in ourselves, in our companies, in our people, that we can find solutions that will benefit everybody. And going forward from here, take this as a blank slate, right all the wrongs that we've done until now, unknowingly most of the time, knowingly sometimes, but still do better going forward. We can do it. What I'm doing is disturbing a lot of people out there. I'm sure of that. And I reach out to citizens who are watching this video, who care about their future. Research everything that I'm saying. If if something happens to me, if I go through character assassinations, as many people do, I don't know. I'm really stepping on big toes here. So I don't know what's happening, what will happen. But if I can't take this forward, you do it. You now understand that these are the problems. We really need to figure out ways to create a loving, compassionate civilization based on trust rather than legal, I will get you for this kind of approach. So those are fear-based approaches. And love-based approach would be a way to say, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. I understand that you're worried about this and this. Let's make it easy for you and easy for me, and find a solution that will satisfy everybody, and that will hopefully be actually better for everybody. If you design things right, if you use your creativity, as humanity, we have incredible potential to bring amazing solutions to things. I mean, look at the electric cars, for example. The breakthrough thing in terms of solving air pollution, quiet, you don't really hear motor sounds, of safety, because the battery of those cars is on the bottom, so when you crash, the car is much more stable and solid. So it's got many different benefits that I'm sure designers didn't even imagine at the beginning. They were probably going for just making an electric car go. And so this could be the case with everything that we do. You might find yourself solving problems that we thought are unsolvable. I mean, I really didn't think I would come to this point when I started on this journey. I just knew that my clients, my trauma clients, had patterns of problems that involved chronic diseases, addictions, violence, and they had patterns in the type of environments that they were living in, and when they moved out, they got better, things like that. And I just couldn't stay quiet. I can't. I have tried. I tried to mind my own business, stay in my own lane, as they say, and focus on just making meditations and stretches. I did a dance meditation, movement meditation. That's actually a neural dance exercise system that improves your brain function. So I could have easily just built my rest of my career on that, had fun, and not experienced fear or intimidation, but I just couldn't shut up. So, here we are. I'm sharing this information with you. Take this movement forward. Join the 1 billion strong and stay connected with each other. That's one way to do it. You can build your own networks of communication. If you really want to move the needle in one direction that you want it to go, then you got to do it with others, as many others as you can. That's why I'm trying to connect 1 billion people around the earth. And when that happens, the change will be swift. It will be easy for everybody because everyone will be contributing in their own capacity, in their own interest area. We have about 5 years or so, in my opinion, before the climate change becomes completely irreversible and billions of people become homeless and displaced. Life becomes really difficult and ugly, to be honest, with insects and reptiles and food shortages and resource shortages, electricity, explosions in nuclear production areas. And so there's a lot of dangers that are awaiting us. And I'm under the impression that we really don't see the big picture of the catastrophe that could happen. And that's part of the reason why we're so focused on the here and now survival. So I invite everyone out there to take your health and take your future into your own hands. Start researching the latest discoveries in the neuroscience of health and disease and how our organism's stress response mechanism functions. I'll be inviting other instructors who are at the forefront of their fields to share their knowledge and their insights with you, so that we can create change that will last for a long time, that we can leave as legacy for our children and say, you know what, the world was going down a really steep slope and we turned it around. We can do this. We did this before as Americans. We led the world. We can do this again. Let's do it. It's time.